Welcome to Nation's Barista Hour, your most preferred YouTube channel. My name is Angelo, and here is what has been trending within the last 24 hours. Now, I will talk first on the Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal. If you all know, tomorrow, Tuesday, is the day that has been set aside, 1st August to be precise, for final hearing of addresses, and then the tribunal will put a date when the verdict will be heard. We will know who won the elections from tomorrow after the tribunal set their verdict date. So I thought it wise that in the spirit of the tribunal hearing and the court hearings proceedings tomorrow, there is a documentary. In case you've not followed up with the tribunal, the petitions and so on, and you don't know what the verdict may be, you don't know the details of the ongoing presidential elections petitions, then I think I have an answer to your problems. How does this work? I'm going to give you a brief video clip where I'm going to see this overview or this review of what happened, what is going to happen, and what has been happening during the tribunal. I think it's better for you to stay tuned. Obi is making waves. You may be shocked with this revelation in this video. Watch more details when I come back.
The five-member panel, led by Justice Haruna Samani, has directed all parties in the matter to appear before it on Tuesday to adopt their final briefs of argument. The court, in a notice it sent to the parties, invited them to adopt their written address with respect to the petition that was lodged against President Tinibu by a former vice president and candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, and the candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) had on the 1st of March 2023 announced Bola Ahmed Tinibu of the ruling All Progressives Congress as winner of the February 25 presidential election, ahead of 17 other candidates that contested the election. According to INEC's declaration, Tinibu scored a total of 8,794,726 votes to defeat the two major contenders, Atiku Abubakar of the PDP, who came second with a total of 6,984,520 votes, and Obi of the Labour Party, who came third with a total of 6,101,533 votes. However, dissatisfied with the outcome of the election, Atiku and Obi approached the court to invalidate it. In their separate petitions, the duo claimed they won the presidential poll, even as they challenged Tinubu's eligibility to contest the election, and therefore urged INEC to withdraw the certificate of return issued to him. Alternatively, they're asking the court to order a fresh presidential election, excluding President Tinibu, who they argued was ab initio not qualified to participate in the poll. On July 5, the court concluded its hearing of Atiku and Obi's petitions. Obi closed his case after calling 13 witnesses who testified and tendered several documentary exhibits. Atiku produced 27 and equally tendered exhibits before the court. On their part, both INEC and President Tinibu wrapped up their defense in both cases with one witness each, while the APC failed to produce any witness before the court. However, in their respective written addresses, the respondents, that is, Tinibu, APC and INEC, urged the court to dismiss all the petitions for want of merit. They argued that the petitioners could not discharge the burden of proof placed on them by the law. According to the respondents, whereas the petitioners raised allegations that had elements of crime in them, they however failed to prove them beyond reasonable doubt as required by law. President Tinibu then urged the court to hold that he was validly returned as winner of the election by the INEC. Meanwhile, Atiku, in the joint petition he filed with his party marked CA/PEPC/05/2023, maintained that the declaration of Tinibu as winner of the presidential election was invalid by reason of non-compliance with the provisions of the Electoral Act 2022, insisting that he was not duly elected by the majority of lawful votes cast at the election. He told the court that Tinibu, cited as a second respondent, was at the time of the election not qualified to contest. In a further process he filed through his team of lawyers led by Chief Chris Uche, SAN, Atiku told the court that the president-elect had demonstrated inconsistency as to his actual date of birth, secondary schools he attended, state of origin, gender, real name, certificates showing universities attended. Atiku and the PDP maintained that the purported degree certificate of the second respondent allegedly acquired at the Chicago State University did not belong to him, but to a female, described as F in the certificate bearing Bola Tinibu. Atiku and the PDP further asserted that Bola Tinibu did not disclose his voluntary acquisition of the citizenship of the Republic of Guinea with Guinean passport number D00001551, in addition to his Nigerian citizenship to INEC. Atiku Abubakar argued that the APC candidate did not meet the constitutional threshold and is constitutionally disabled from contesting for the office of President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Obi and LP in their petition marked CA/PEPC/03/2023 argued that as at the time Tinubu's running mate, Senator Kashim Shettima, became the vice presidential candidate, he was still the candidate of the APC for the Borno Central senatorial election. They equally challenged Tinubu's eligibility to contest the presidential election, alleging that he was previously indicted and fined to the tune of $460,000 by the United States District Court in case number 93C4483 for an offense involving dishonesty and drug trafficking. That it be determined that on the basis of the remaining votes after discountenancing the votes credited to the second respondent, the first petitioner, Obi, scored a majority of the lawful votes cast at the election and had not less than 25% of the vote cast in at least two-thirds of the states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and satisfied the constitutional requirements to be declared the winner of the February 25, 2023 presidential election. That it be determined that the second respondent, having failed to score 1/4 of the votes cast at the presidential election in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, was not entitled to be declared and returned as the winner of the presidential election held on February 25, 2023. In the alternative, the petitioner wants an order cancelling the election and compelling INEC to conduct a fresh election in which Tinibu, Shettima and the APC, listed as second, third and fourth respondents respectively, shall not participate.
Okay, I think we've watched the video and you really got it straight. You got the information, and the reason why we brought that video to you is for you to know the general message that has been had in the tribunal, what has been going on and what might go on tomorrow, so that you would have a better view and a better expectation of what the tribunal might have in store tomorrow for the people of Nigeria. Because tomorrow seems to be a day very, very decisive. Aside the verdict hearing day, tomorrow is a very, very decisive day that all Nigerians will really know if all eyes will continue to be on the judiciary or not. Mind you, after tomorrow's hearing and after the verdict day of hearing, there will still be more sessions in the Supreme Court where final verdicts will be heard. So, I would urge you to keep a date with us tomorrow for the transmission of the tribunal. Second on my update is Senator Ikenga from Imo State. He has been in loggerheads or at loggerheads with Governor Hope Uzodinma of his state. Now, I will call this particular video Senator Ikenga versus Hope Uzodinma, because these two have been into different issues and controversies over time. In fact, there were times that assassins were sent to the house of Senator Ikenga, who ended up murdering his uncle and his family. So the insecurity in Imo State is something else. And we are meant to believe that the governor has a hand in everything happening in Imo State. We are not alleging, because when you watch this video, you will know why we are saying so. Now, I think you better listen to Senator Ikenga, where he called out Governor Uzodinma publicly and named all his offenses and sins before the general public. Stay tuned. You are going to be shocked. If you're from Imo State, watch this video with keen interest. If you're a Nigerian, then pay better attention to this video. Stay tuned.
On behalf of members of the House of Representatives from Imo State, we had our our meetings yesterday, and we also talked on the phone about recent development in Imo State, where a famous journalist, Nonsonkwa, was abducted by hooded security men that turned out to be members of the Nigerian police force and have been taken to Abuja based on a petition, we are told, allegedly from the government of Hope Uzodinma. Let me use this opportunity to call on the new Inspector General of Police. In Imo, maybe you are not aware, we have had a state-led tyranny that clamps down on people with divergent view. We have a state government that have used unorthodox security method in trying to quell security problem and ended up inflaming the situation. We had a state government that top officials of the government have been involved in acts that threaten the peace and security of lives of citizens. In particular, of my own experience, where a top officer of the government threatened to kill me, and at the end of the day, the assassins were sent, and they ended up killing my uncle and some family members and burning down my house. And the vehicle with which they carried the explosive came all the way from over, passing all the military checkpoint, with intel that they were escorted by officers of the government. So when people talk about this security situation in Imo, it's not that we are playing politics with it. It is Governor Uzodinma that is playing politics with it. Because I can remember last time, when he was quarreling with Rochas Okorocha, he said Rochas Okorocha is the one behind unknown gunmen. When they reconciled, he turned back again. Later on, they said it was Uche Nwosu. When they reconciled, we didn't hear about it again. When he started having problem with Chief Emeki Ihedioha, he said Ihedioha is the one behind the insecurity. Later, he dumped that one. Then he later said it's Gerard Irona. At a point, he said, I'm the one behind insecurity in the state. So it looks like the governor is using issues of security to be playing petty politics. And because of that, there's nothing that concerns security situation in Imo State that the governor should be taken serious by any reasonable person. Because this is somebody that, after the assassination attempt and killing of some of our family members, was on TV saying that he was aware of the planned attack, and then dishing out fake security information that he had documents of where I was meeting with those who came to kill me. So when you look at all such kind of comments, you ask yourself, are these people that are in position of authority? It doesn't matter how you come into office, whether you come from the Supreme Court or somewhere. The point remains that there must be some level of reasonable conversation that people should be allowed to have when they're in power. So the essence of this conversation is that I'm using this opportunity to call on the DSS and the police and Mr. President to please intervene on the arrest of Nonsonkwa and ensure that he's released. If you say he has committed an offense, the right thing to do is to charge him to court. You do not have, and I repeat, you do not have any reason to hold Nonsonkwa more than the stipulated constitutional provision. These are the things that are causing problems all over West Africa, why people are getting involved in queue and so on and so forth. Because leaders tend to abuse democratic process, tend to abuse human rights, tend to abuse the courts and the provisions of the constitution has to do with human rights. If you say he has committed an offense, the right thing to do is not to flex muscle, to kidnap him, take him somewhere and detain him. If you feel you have established a case, you go to court and file your case and then follow the legal process. That's what they normally tell us even after election. So you...
All right, you've heard it there. I think before I go further, I would urge our viewers, like our videos, share them. Don't forget to drop a comment for us in the comment section too. And then watch till the end. Tap the notification bell so that anytime we drop new videos, you will be the first to know, or you will be among the first people to know. Yes, do this please, because YouTube uses this to make our videos go viral. Now, on the issue of Hope Uzodinma versus Senator Ikenga, Senator Ikenga is a spokesperson of all the lawmakers that come from Imo State. So, it's just quite obvious why they are having these controversies. But that doesn't mean Governor Hope Uzodinma should take laws into his hands and do whatever he pleases. Because the insecurity in the state is too much. Lots of kidnaps. Reaching our table now is that one other media personality in Imo State has been kidnapped. And it was done by government officials, security agencies. Okay, so that means there is something fishy, or we can say that the government has a hand in all this. So Hope Uzodinma, please retrace your steps and desist from indulging in dark and heinous activities in your state. Please, for the good and betterment of the Imolites and Nigerians too at large. Finally, Dele Farotimi, as he calls himself, the retired barrister and human rights activist, has come out to speak on why he thinks Peter Obi should be the president. Of course, he was asked, and he gave us different examples where Peter Obi fought and became the savior of Anambra State over time. So he feels Peter Obi may quickly replicate this as president of Nigeria. He also feels that Peter Obi's reign in Nigeria will be the end to all political money bags that have eaten or that have brought about the cankerworms that have eaten Nigeria to a very, very bad level. I think it's better off you watch Dele Farotimi yourself. Stay tuned.
It is unusual in this country of ours. A man ruled a state like Anambra for 8 years. He wrested powers from the Uba, and they think that one is a softie. Somebody who can take power from the Uba. These were people who controlled Ubanuju, or whatever that one's name was. These were murderous people who killed Barnabas Igwe, the NBA chairman. I believe in Onitsha. Look, these were not easy people. Peter Obi fought them to a standstill, took over the state, made the state work to the point where people are clapping years after he had left. There is a basis to be excited. And I would say that Peter Obi probably represents the last opportunity for the ruiners of Nigeria to get out of power without bloodshed. That's my honest belief, because he actually represents a transition to a change that can be orderly, because the old system is no longer sustainable. It is no longer, it's patently unsustainable. So that's what is propelling it. It is hope that is propelling his candidacy. And that is what's driving everything.
Everywhere is Peter Obi, Peter Obi, Peter Obi. Yes, we hope that he brings forth that change that people have been waiting for if he is pronounced winner at the tribunal. So that brings us to what is going to happen tomorrow. I hope we all are ready to brace ourselves for what is going to happen tomorrow at the Court of Appeal or at the Petitions Court. Stay tuned. See you next time in my next update. Don't forget to keep it with us tomorrow for more updates on the petitions. Alright. Now, finally, we're drawing the curtain here. Bye-bye.